Hi everyone, welcome to Red Fox Sewing and Crafting, and welcome to my craft room. I'm Joanna. So, today we have a fun little album that we're going to make, and then later on, probably next week or the week after that, we will be making a box to hold this in. Now this is a cassette tape album, and we're going to make a box that resembles the case that cassette tapes come in, or used to come in. So I already made the cover, and on the front I made it look like a cassette tape. So I took a piece of chipboard and I cut a 4 1/4 inch by 1 inch rectangle, and I measured in 3/8 on both sides and cut it to get this slanted piece on the bottom. And then these two are 3/4 inch circles that I used my circle punch with, and you want to make sure that your circle punch is very sharp when you do that. So I'm gonna put this off to the side and we can start working on the inside. So we're going to start with our base pages and our inserts. So for the base pages, you will need 3 pieces that are 3 1/2 by 10 3/4. And then for the inserts, you'll need 3 pieces that are 3 1/2 by 7 1/2. For the inserts, you want to put the 7 1/2 inches at the top, and we are going to score each of them at 4. And then for the pages, you want the 10 3/4 at the top, and we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 3/4, and 5 3/4. 1/2 inch, 3/4, 5 3/4. 1/2 inch, 3/4, 5 3/4. And we're just going to fold and burnish all these pieces. So now that we have everything scored, we're going to make our base pages. And then since the album is really simple, we are just going to put the base pages in the album and then make all the pages in the album. So all we're going to do is add a little bit of glue to the side without the hinge on the bottom and this side, just like this. And then just stick it down. And I'm just going to fold over my hinge to make sure that my hinge still works when I move it around, when I turn my page. So if you do that, you might need to re-burnish your center part, but that should be fine. And I'm just going to insert into my page. And I'm just going to do that to my other 2 pieces, the other 2 pages. So I made a minor mistake. It is perfectly fine. Easy fix to make. We are having, the pages are going to have 3/8 inch spacing between them. So all you need to do is, if you are following along with me, you just need to cut off 1/8 of an inch off your hinge, just like this. The correct measurements for the base pages will be down in the description below. You will need to score them at 3/8, 5/8, and 5 5/8. To get the right measurement if you are watching this before you make it. So all the pages are right this time, so we can add these correct pages to our book. It's going to be 3/8 inches from the side and 1/4 inch from the bottom. And this is a little bit different to how we normally add the pages in, because usually we add them to the center of the spine, but oh boy, my page is crooked. But because we have large inserts, we want the pages to be a little bit lower to give the inserts space at the top for them. They might be a little bit crooked, but as I always say, it is made by human hands. And stuff made by human hands is never perfect. I'm just going to line this up like this and maybe get it to work a little better for me. That's good. Good enough. Okay. So we have our 3 pages in our album. And before we add any stuff to them, there are 2 pages that we need to add pattern paper to. That is going to be pages 3 and page 5. Okay, so add pattern paper to pages 3 and 5, and then we'll come back to add all the stuff to them. So now we will be working on the rest of the pages that we need for the album. you will need 2 pieces that are 3.5 by 4, 1 piece that is 3 by 5, 1 piece that is 3 by 4, 1 piece that is 2.5 by 4.5, 2 pieces that are 3 by 4. The 3 3 by 4s, you need them in on two separate pages. And then you need a 5 3/8 by 3.5. So we'll grab our scoreboards out, starting with the 5 3/8 by 3.5. You want to start on the 3.5 inch side, and we're going to score at half. And then you want to turn it so that the score mark that you just made is at the top, and then we're going to score again at half. That way our pocket is going to have a tab on the bottom and the right. For 2 of our 3 by 4s, we just want to leave those alone. Our third 3 by 4, you want to put the 4 inches at the top and score it at 2. Our 4.5 by 2.5, we are going to score on 3 sides. So 2 short sides, 1 long side. Our 3 by 5, put the 5 inches at the top, score at 2.5. And our 4 by 3.5, you want the 3.5 inches at the top and score at half. Now we're just going to fold and burnish on all of our score marks. So we're going to start with our side pocket here. And you'll want to take a pencil and fold the short tab over, put it to the edge of your scoreboard, and mark at 1. And take your longer tab, fold it over, put it in your scoreboard, and mark from the bottom 1 1/4. And then we're going to take our paper trimmers, almost forgot the word, and we're going to line our marks up in our paper trimmer and just cut. Then you can take an eraser and just erase your little tick marks that you made. And then I'm going to miter our 2 corners like that and cut out the corner like this. And then we're just going to miter all of our other pieces. And with our other pocket, you want to miter the top 2 corners and cut out the bottom 2 squares. So I am going to do this last piece here. It's not very many pieces. And we can assemble our book, or our album. So, starting with page 1, you want one of the 3.5 by 4s, and we are going to put this lined up at the bottom. So I'm going to take my ruler and, as best as I can, line it up and then center this on my page. Just like that. And then to keep it closed, I'm going to add a magnet pair. And the way I like to put magnets on is I like to use double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to put one of them on my flap here first. And then the second one I'm going to put on top to find the direction it goes. And then with the stickiest side up on my second piece of double-sided adhesive, I'm gonna put my magnet on there, flip it up, and stick it down, just like that. Page 2 is our angled pocket. And I like using double-sided adhesive. If you don't have any or want to use something else or whatever, that's fine. We are going to add our pocket to the hinge side. So I'm just going to start with the bottom hinge, line that up with the bottom of my page, and you are going to get a little bit of the base page showing. That's what you want. And then we can stick down the side tab, just like so. Page 3. This is going to require a magnet pair and a brad. So I'm going to grab a brad here. Let's go with black. I think I messed up. I opened it the wrong way. Not too much spillage. And then 2 magnets. So I'm gonna start by taking our other 2 3x4s and I'm going to use repositional dots to keep my two pieces lined up while I do this part. What I'm going to do is go in the top left corner and make a mark an inch in, or not an inch, half an inch in from that corner. Actually, I am going to add some, If you want to add paper to the inside front piece, do that now. I am just going to leave it as is. So we have our mark here. And I'm going to take my stiletto here and I'm going to punch a hole where I have that mark. And you want to punch it through both pieces. Just like that. And then we can add our brad through here. And there's that part. And now that is done, I can just get rid of the removable dots. Easy peasy. And then we have our magnets. So one of the magnets is going to go on the front right bottom corner. So about there. And then the other one is going to go on the bottom of the sandwich. And I'm just going to cover the whole back with my double-sided adhesive. And now we can attach this to our page. And this is the first of the two pages that we covered with pattern paper before we started. I'm going to have 1/4 inch spacing top and bottom and 1/2 inch spacing on the sides. So just like that. And then you can just do that. If you want the brad to show, you can put pattern paper on after you put your magnet on. I probably should have flipped this so that the flattened one's on top, but oh well. Page 4 is going to be our pocket. So I'm going to add some score tape really quick. And we're going to start with the bottom hinge, or the bottom tab. It's going to go along the hinge side. Just want to line it up with the score mark, but don't go over it. You still want to be able to move your page. Then we can put our 2 tabs down. And there is page 4. Page 5, our second page that we covered. You want the 4x3 and the 3x5. You want to cover the inside of both, just the inside. So I'm going to do that really quick, and then we will be back to put this page together. So I have my 2 pieces here, and I'm going to fold them closed, and I'm going to put glue on one side of the 3x4. Just like this. And then you want to take the 3x5 and put 3x4 along the 3x5 with the edges even, so that it looks like this. Okay, you have your 2 pages covered this way, and then they're attached like that. Now you want to close your 3x5, open your 3x4, and you want to add glue on the 3x4 that is exposed. Just like that. Now we're going to grab our albums. And it's going to be 1/4 inch top and bottom, and 1/2 inch on the sides. Now, question is, where did I put my small ruler? So 1/2 inch on the sides, 1/4 inch top and bottom. And we're just gluing the exposed 3 and 3x4 part onto the page. And you want it stuck really good. Burnish it as much as you can, especially if you're using thick cardstock for this. I'm going to flip this open like this. It goes like this. And I'm going to grab my ephemera here and just find a piece that I like that I can add. So I'm just going to glue this on the right side of the 3x5 so that I have a little pull tab. And I'm going to center it. So I'm going to carefully flip that closed, and perfect size. Now we can move on to our last page, and this is going to be a mirror to page 1. So we have our second 3.5x4. And again, it's going to go on the bottom of our page. And we have 1/2 inch spacing on the sides. So I'm going to line up my ruler and stick it down, just like so. And then I'm gonna add maybe, because magnets are doing weird stuff, 1 more magnet pair. Again, going to use double-sided adhesive to attach my magnets. One on the inside of the flap and one on the base page. Just like that. And there you go. The cassette tape album is complete. I hope you enjoyed making this cute little album with me. If you did, hit the like button down below. If you want to see more, if you want to make the box that I'm going to be making that goes along with this, hit subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!